Good morning to you all. Good morning. Good morning. Ellie's in the building. What's up, beloved? Got my Tara in the building. What's going on? I appreciate that. Yeah, I was kind of feeling the blue today. I was kind of feeling that. T Benz, what's going on? Jazz is in the building. What's up, Jazz? Peace and blessings to you all. Sefe's in the building. What's up, family? Peace and blessings to you all. Raven's in the building. What's up, Raven? So good to see you. Jazz is in the building. He got my lighter. I see you. I see you. I see you. What's going on, Mindset Masters family? What is going on? Tracy's in the building. What's up, beloved? Ann's in the building. Let's get it. That part right there, T Benz. That part right there. You already know. You already know. You already know. Good morning to you all. Silas is in the building. Let's get it. That part right there, Ellie, that part right there, that part right there. Do me a favor, you guys, and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. That OODA mindset. Gina's in the building. What's up, Gina? Good morning to you all. Nitro's in the building. Let's get it. That part right there, Sefe, that firefighter mindset. I mean, that fighter jet mindset. Man, that's a whole nother strategy. Yeti Berry's in the building. What's up, Yeti Berry? That's a whole nother stratosphere right there. That's a bad boy right there. That fighter jet mindset. Listen, ain't time to do all that pause. What's up, Nate? So good to see you. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Moon Chick, let's get it. Yeah, Elliot's a bad boy. It really is. Yeah, you're going to need your scuba gear today. Go ahead and grab it. Yeah. That fighter jet is a bad boy. It might be one of the coldest mindsets, to be honest with you. I don't know too many minds. You gotta be you gotta have a cold mindset. When you fight that, when you in that jet and everything up there trying to kill you, how can you afford not to have the coldest mindset? You know, how can you afford not to? Do me a favor real quick. Reese's Pieces in the building. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. What's up, Nick? Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Let's get the likes up, please, so we can get the medicine out to the world. Man. April's in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Remember, man, you have to be emotionally bulletproof. There's nothing colder than that. There's nothing on the planet colder than emotional bulletproofing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing is colder than being emotionally bulletproof when you just don't react to anything that anyone has to say. You just don't react. That's it. You just don't react. Nothing is colder than that. I don't give a damn about. I don't care how many PhDs you have. I don't care how many master's degrees you have. I don't care how many bachelor's degrees you have. Nothing is colder than that. When you become emotionally bulletproof, there's nothing colder than that. Nothing. There's no skill that you will develop ever in life that's more powerful than that. When people's words roll off you the same way that water rolls off that umbrella, it's game over. It's observe, orient, decide, act. Watch my video. Go watch my video. It's pinned to the top of the grid. When you watch my video, you'll see it there. Watch my video. It has a fighter jet on the cover of it in the top right-hand corner. When you watch that video, it'll change your life. If you apply what's being said in that video to your life, it'll change your life today. Period. Period. Coldest mindset there is. Coldest mindset there is. I appreciate that, Christy. I appreciate that, beloved. Coldest mindset might be the coldest mindset on the planet. Might just might be. Just might be. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Again, do me a favor real quick, you guys. Valerie's in the building. What's up, beloved? Got my red in the building. What's going on? Chris is in the building. Let's get it, Chris. Do me a favor and, again, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. We got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to hurry and get busy jumping into this live. Again, do me a favor, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the lights up so that we can get the medicine out to the world. Share the live to your stories, please. If this is your very first time on a live stream with me, type me in the comments. If this is your very first time going live with me, type me in the comments real quick. If not, let's get busy. What's up, Coach? Okay. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, baby. I appreciate that. All right, real quick. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, emotional intelligence, consciousness. I specialize in helping my students and my clients all over the world to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful versions of themselves. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? The book is a bestseller. The book is a game changer, period. But I'm not here to talk about the book. You know, I've been coaching for over 2 decades now. I've been the secret weapon for a lot of people globally, from, you know, top celebrities to top athletes to top UFC fighters to, politicians, executive, doctors, lawyers, everyday moms and pops, you name it. I have coached them. Again, I've been a secret weapon for a lot of people for a long time. You know, my thing is mindset. You know, my whole push is mindset, because mindset is everything. You know, and one thing you got to understand is that your attitude determines your altitude. It's so important for you to understand that. Your attitude determines your altitude, and your attitude is always going to be the byproduct of your mindset, right? Your attitude is always going to be the byproduct of your mindset. And so, you know, because your mindset is the filter that you're seeing reality through, right? And then you're going to develop a certain attitude about whatever it is that you're seeing in that moment. And so your attitude in that moment determines your altitude. It determines your quality of life. It determines who you ultimately become. It determines what you respond to and what you react to. It's so important for you to understand that. Life is a single player game. We play it at a multiplayer level. That's why we lose the game, because you play the game at a multiplayer level. You're not playing the game for you. You're playing the game for all of the people around you. You're playing the game. You're making decisions based upon how it benefits this person and how it impacts that person and how it impacts this person. So you're actually not living your life. You're living your life based upon how the people around you are being impacted by the decisions that you make. And that's the biggest problem that you will ever make, because you'll never become the greatest version of yourself that way, ever. I'm not talking about your kids. Leave your kids out of it. I'm talking about you specifically, because God did not create you for any other person in your life. He didn't create you for your significant other. He didn't create you for your friends. He didn't create you for the people on social media. He didn't create you for what's happening in the world. He created you for him specifically. You have a purpose. Your value is connected to your purpose, period. Your value does not come from you. Your value comes from your purpose. We don't know the impact of your purpose, and we don't know the impact of your value until you first unlock your purpose. Once your purpose is unlocked, then you'll have a good idea of what your value is. But your value doesn't come from your bank account. It doesn't come from your popularity. It doesn't come from your level of education. It doesn't come from your upbringing. It doesn't come from whether you had a good mom or a bad dad. It doesn't come from any of that. Value comes from purpose. Most people don't know their value, which is why we stay in toxic relationships, which is why we stay in situations past the expiration date, which is why we tolerate disrespect, which is why we show up as some lesser version of ourselves, which is why we shrink in our own lives, which is why we chase love and we chase happiness and we chase people, because you don't know your value. The moment that you know your value, you stop chasing. Period. When you don't know your value, you chasing everything. Bottom line. Diamonds don't look for people. People look for diamonds. Gold doesn't look for people. People look for gold. You got to understand that when you become the value in your, when you become the diamond in your life, you'll stop looking for people. When you become the gold in your life, you'll stop looking for people. You are the treasure. What is the treasure doing looking for other people? What is the treasure doing looking for love? What is the treasure doing looking for validation? That doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. We only do that when you don't know your value. That's the only time you do it. It's the only time you would do it. When you stay in situations past the expiration date, it's because you don't know your value. When you tolerate disrespect, it's because you don't know your value. When you look for love outside of yourself, it's because you don't know your value. When you think that happiness comes from the things that you add to your life, it's because you don't know your value. When you show up small in your own life, it's because you don't know your value. When you walk on eggshells around certain people, it's because you don't know your value. Bottom line. Period. Good morning. Again, real quick, you guys, do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Anybody that I missed coming in, good morning, good morning, good morning. Joya, good morning to you, beloved. Anyone that I missed, again, do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick so that we can get the medicine out to the world. Do not be selfish. Share the live to your stories or repost the live so that we can get it out to the world. These are the conversation that we're getting ready to have today, and the conversation that we have every day is what the world needs to be talking about. We don't need to be talking about problems. We don't need to be talking about what's wrong. We need to be talking about what's wrong in you. Before we start talking about what's wrong in the world, let's first focus on what's happening in you. Because if we don't focus on what's happening in you, then you just gonna go out to the world. You're gonna be a liability to the world. You're gonna become a part of the problem. I'm telling you, you're just gonna become a part of the problem. It's only just gonna happen. If we don't solve the internal problem, what are we doing focusing on the external problem? We ain't mastered the internal one yet. Now you got to get your house tight first before you start focusing on what's happening in somebody else's house. Cat Lover, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Sick when I see you. Let me say this before I jump out there. This is lion school. It's what this is. I don't coach sheep. I don't coach gazelles. I don't coach hyenas. I coach lions and lionesses, period. This is kingdom mindset. We don't do weak energy here. I'm not a baker, so I'm not going to sugarcoat my delivery for you. If you want something sugar-coated, go to Krispy Kreme. They're going to sugarcoat everything that you want in there. If you are ready to become the most powerful version of yourself, this is where you need to be. I coach strength, confidence, belief, faith, not in the world, but in you. I'm not interested in who you were yesterday. I don't care. I'm not interested in what went wrong. I don't care. I'm not interested in who stopped choosing you or who stopped loving you. I don't care. What I care about is this moment because it's the only one in history that matters. It's the only moment where we can create real impact. We can't create impact focusing on what happened yesterday. We can't create impact focusing on what might happen tomorrow. The only place where we can create real change and real impact is this moment. So if we ever meet in person, don't waste your time telling me about who you were. Focus all of that energy on telling me about who you are becoming, because it's the only thing that matters, beloved, who you are becoming. Everything else is irrelevant. We waste so much time talking about who we were and what we used to have and what we used to be and what went wrong and who stopped loving you and who lied and who betrayed you. And that's wasted energy. You are leaking energy every time. For every minute that you focus on the past is 1 minute of your potential wasted. How much of your potential has been lost? Focusing on something that you can't change, focusing on something that you can't edit, focus on something where you no longer can create impact. How much of your potential has been wasted? That's why that fighter jet mindset is the coldest on the planet. Because when he is operating at 30,000 feet, he doesn't have time to think about his problems. He doesn't have time to think about his pain. He doesn't have time to think about what went wrong. He doesn't have time to focus on what's happening down there on earth. He doesn't have time to think about whether his wife is cheating on him or not. He doesn't have time. Because for every moment that he's thinking about something else, the enemy is trying to take him out. You are the fighter pilot in your life. What's coming is greater than what's gone. You don't have time to pause. And this is why this is so important, because you got to understand that everything that's coming at you is just like the enemy that fighter pilot is facing. When your problems are coming at you and the pain is coming at you and your ego is coming at you and your programming and conditioning is coming at you and everything that went wrong in your life, all these things are coming at you. This is the enemy in your life, but it's all being created by your programming and conditioning. It's not being created by reality. It's being created by your reaction to reality. The enemy in your life is not some fighter pilot. The enemy in your life is your programming and conditioning, because it rejects certain things. It accepts certain things. It projects your past onto certain things. That creates the fear. It projects your past onto the future. That creates the anxiety. It makes you focus on what was. It makes you focus on what you don't have. It makes you focus on who stopped loving you. It makes assumptions about people. It labels people. That's the enemy in your life. Right? That's the enemy in your life, beloved. That's the enemy in your life. Got to master you. So every day when I wake up, I'm like that fighter pilot. I don't have time. He doesn't have time to focus on what's behind him, because what's in front of him is too important. Right? So the first thing I need to do is observe. I need to observe what's happening. The second thing I need to do is orient. What does orient mean? What's the distance between you and the thing, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? I need to decide that quick. The second thing that I need to do is I need to make a decision. I don't need to make a decision based on hope. I don't need to make a decision based on fantasies. I don't need to make a decision based on my illusions. I don't need to make a decision based on one day they might become. No, I need to make decisions based upon real time. Make decisions that are in alignment with where I'm going. Make decisions that are in alignment with the highest and best version of me. I need to make decisions based on that. And I need to make them quick. When that fighter pilot is up there, he's thinking quick. He got time to do all that pausing? I don't have time to pause. This thing is either adding value to me or it's not. Which one is it? It's either helping me to become more of myself or it's causing me to become less. Which one is it? Am I becoming a greater version of me or a lesser version of me in the presence of this thing? Which one is it? Which one is it? And then you make the decision from a place of non-emotion. That's the most important part. When he's thinking up there at 30,000 feet, he's not thinking from his emotions. He's not thinking from his feelings. He's thinking from his training. That's what this is when we're going shadow boxing every single day on these lives Monday through Friday. This is training, beloved. So that when you encounter the fighter jets in your life, you know exactly what to do. You rely on your training, not your emotions and not your feelings. Why? Because your emotion is going to keep you blind. It's going to only cause you to look at the situation based upon how it impacts you. An emotional decision is the worst decision. You want to make the worst decision in your life? Make one from your emotions. Worst decision you will ever make in the history of your life. It's the worst one. Most people are in jail right now because they made emotional decisions. So you don't ever make a decision from your emotions. No, you make decisions based on where you're going. Where are you going? That's what you make the decision based on. You don't make decisions that only benefit the current version of you. You make decisions that equally benefit the future version of you as well. So you don't put the future version of you in debt mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what most people do. We put the future version of ourselves in debt because you make a decision that only benefit the current version of you. And when you make decisions that only benefit the current version of you, it's because you're attached to something. It's because you're clinging to something. It's because you've convinced yourself that you can't be happy without some person or without something. That's why you're making the decisions from your emotions in that moment. Again, do me a favor real quick, you guys, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out to the world. The most powerful version of you is the version of you that lives on the opposite side of every decision that you are afraid to make right now. The most powerful version of you is the version of you that lives on the opposite side of what you're afraid to walk away from. The most powerful version of you is the version of you that lives on the opposite side of what you are avoiding, because what you avoid in life controls you. What you're afraid to say in life controls you. God didn't create you to be silent. He did not create you for that. He didn't create you to turn down the volume on your voice. He didn't create you to walk on eggshells. He didn't create you to tolerate disrespect. He didn't create you to normalize having to speak and turn yourself down around certain people. He didn't create you for that. Your attachments cause you to do that. The clinging causes you to do that. You not loving yourself causes you to do that. You not believing in yourself causes you to do that. You not showing up for yourself causes you to do that. The moment that you think you can't be happy without some person, you've lost yourself. You didn't trick yourself out of your divinity. I said you tricked. The moment you think you need someone else to make you happy, you've lost yourself. The moment that you think somebody else can complete you, you've lost yourself. People can only compliment you. No one can complete you, the one you are looking for. The one you've been looking for this entire time is you. It's the only thing you're looking for. The only thing you're looking for is you. You are the one. And then what you're looking for is somebody that can be a perfect complement to that. But the one is you. There's no other one. And the day you discover that, your whole life won't change. Yeah. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Again, real quick, you guys, before I dive into this live, for anyone that's new to the platform, again, my name is Jordan Williams. Turning heads, what's up, beloved Craig? I see you. Again, do me a favor, share the live to your stories real quick before we take off. Real quick, just in case you jump in within the last minute or two, my name is Jordan Williams. I'm a certified life coach. I'm sitting here to help you become the baddest version of you, period. That's why I'm here. You want to know why I'm in your life? Because I'm going to help you to become the most lethal, the most badass version of you. Bottom line. I'm the best in the world at that. Nothing else. Nothing else. I'm not the one that's going to help you cut your grass. I'm not the one that's going to help you wash your car. I'm not going to help you one to fix the sink when it starts leaking. I'm not going to do any of that. What I am is the one that's going to help you to become the most lethal, the most powerful, the most fearless, the most confident version of you. That's what I'm going to help you do. That's the only reason why you need me in your life. You don't need me in your life for any other reason. Bottom line. There's nothing to discover because the only thing that we need to unlock is what you already are. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Poppy Chula, what's going on, family? All right, let's get busy getting busy. I said the baddest thing on the planet is you. We don't get another you. What are we talking about here? We don't get another you. There has never been a you before this moment, and there will never be a you coming. We get this version of you right here. That's where your value is. We don't get another you, beloved. Look at all of the people that have came and went. God gave us one model. We don't get another you. Man, you better take that plane crash serious. We don't get another you. What you mean you showing up small in your own life? What you mean you walking on eggshells around certain people? What do you mean you're not speaking your truth? What do you mean you're not living out of your authenticity and all we get is what? Now I can understand you doing all of that. We got the 10 or 20,000 other models like you coming in. Yeah, you can afford to waste time. Man, we got one model. I wish I would disrespect what God took the time to create and show up small. Disrespect what God took the time to create and not believe in myself. Disrespect what God took the time to create and not love myself unconditionally. For who? Who are you placing on some pedestal in your life when you showing up small to your life, to your relationship? What have you added to your life that's causing you to be unhappy right now? Causing you to be confused? Causing you to question your worth and question your value? What person have you placed on some pedestal in your mind where you have normalized disrespect, normalized verbal abuse? Normalize this person potentially putting their hands on you. Who have you made that important in your life? Inquiring minds want to know. I need to meet that person. I said, I need to meet him. All right, let's get busy, y'all. Let's get busy. I wish I would. I wish I would. I wish I would. I wish I would. All right. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Tom, you ready? You welcome, family. Let's get busy getting busy. Again, like I said, again, I'm a certified life coach. I've been doing this thing for 2 decades now. Self master is where we start. We start out with information. That's wonderful. Information applied becomes wisdom. Wisdom applied becomes emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence applied becomes self mastery. Self mastery applied becomes self awareness. Self awareness is the grandfather of them all. Self awareness is what Jesus was teaching. He was not teaching religion, so we ain't gonna tell that lie. He was teaching self awareness. The very thing that you have in you right now. My job is to help you to unlock that. It's my only purpose in your life. I don't have any other function. I don't have any other purpose. Don't call me for any other reason. That's why I'm in your life right now. To help you to unlock your highest and best self, help you to step into consciousness, help you to step into self-mastery, help you to step into self-awareness. I have no other purpose in your life, no other role in your life. I appreciate that, beloved, and I'm great at what I do. I suck at a lot of things in life. I'm great at that right there. I'm like a hammer. Hammer has that one purpose, that one function. It's a force multiplier. I'm like that wheelbarrow. That wheelbarrow has one function, one purpose in life. It's a force multiplier. Yeah, you can carry dirt in your hands and more dirt gonna fall on the ground than what you carried in your hands. But once you get that wheelbarrow, oh, it's game over because that wheelbarrow will carry what you can't. It's the force multiplier. You can take your shoe and you can take a nail and you can hit your shoe against that nail, and that nail will go into the wall just a little bit, but at some point in time, you're going to do more damage to the shoe than anything else because the shoe was not designed for that. When you pick that hammer up, if you hit it just right, it'll drive that nail through the wood. That hammer is the force multiplier. You need force multipliers in your life. People that multiply the value that is already in you, not people that are trying to make withdrawals from you, not people that need more from you than what they're willing to bring to the situation. You need force multipliers in your life more than you need any other person. Especially if your goal is to become the greatest version of yourself, you need force multipliers. That's what I am. I'm that hammer when you need one. I'm that wheelbarrow when you need one. I'm that vehicle when you need one. I'm that thing that's going to get you from where you are to where you ultimately want to become. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to sit there and high five you. I'm not going to sit there and see what I did for your life. I'm not going to sit there and hold that over your head like I've done something miraculous for you. I'm just dancing my dance. What I am and what God has allowed me to become, that's the blessing. The blessing is when you become so powerful that your presence alone can unlock people. The blessing is when you become so powerful that your words become medicine. The blessing is when God takes your pain and turns it into power and you become a walking, talking pharmacy for every single person that you come in contact with. That's the blessing. Now, whatever you, however you benefit from that blessing, that's on you, beloved. That belongs to you. No credit to me. No credit to me at all. Every single person that's watching this live, you're a walking, talking pharmacy. If you would love yourself enough and you would double down on the discipline, double down on your studying, double down on the self-awareness to become the walking, talking pharmacy. So that every single person that comes in contact with you, it's like a TED Talk. That person comes in contact with you, it's like the pharmacy. Why? Because you are the solution that they are looking for in that moment. That's the whole point. That's what this is all about. To dance your dance, but you can't dance your dance if you live in your life for somebody else. You can't dance your dance if you're worried about external validation. You can't dance your dance if you're not believing in yourself. You can't dance your dance if you're not loving yourself. You can't dance your dance if you're looking for somebody to love you versus becoming love, which is what you were created to be. That's the whole point. That's what God is paying attention to. He said, watch this. Watch what my chosen one's going to do. I'm going to put them through all of these different things. The things that I'm putting them through is neutral. The things that I'm putting them through doesn't have the power to hurt them. At some point in time, they're going to wake up and understand that. They're going to wake up and understand that the meaning that they're attached to the situation is what's hurting them. The situation doesn't have the power to hurt them. The meaning that they assigned to the situation is what's hurting them. The person that walked out in your life didn't hurt you. The meaning you assigned to that is what hurt you. The person that cut you off in the traffic didn't hurt you and make you upset. The meaning you assigned to it. At some point in time, they're going to realize that. And when they realize that, they're going to be the solution and the answer and the blessing and the cure and the medicine for every single person in the world. And they're going to teach everybody we're going to change the world. period. But it all starts with you. All right, boom, let's get busy. Rich, what's up, family? So good to see you. Again, do me a favor. Do me a favor, you guys, and share the live to your stories real quick. If you haven't already done so, then we can already take off. None of that was about the live, but we are getting ready to take off. That's for sure. Rich, what's up, family? So good to see you. Olga's in the building. Let's get it. Miss T is in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Miss Tiffany's in the building. Let's get it. All right, yeah, it's time to cook. Rich said it's time. It's time. Beaver's in the building. Let's go. Yeah, it's gonna freeze up a few more times like that. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. I promise you, we're gonna keep it moving. All right, boom. Let's go. Your ego. That ego of yours, it's a bad boy. I appreciate the gifts, you guys. I appreciate that. That ego of yours is something special. What's up, Alex? So good to see you, beloved. But is it the problem or is something else? I said, is it the problem or is something else? Is it the problem or something else? If your ego is the enemy, who's declaring the war? I need you to answer that question. I said, if the ego is the enemy, who's declaring the war? When you guys say me and I am, who? Be specific. Give me specifics. Who? If somebody broke in your house right now, you would know exactly who it was. Okay, coach, that was a white male, 5 feet tall, a black male, this height, this over here. Who? So when you guys say who are we talking about here? And I want you to look at how all over the place the answers are. Not blaming anybody, but I just want you to look at how the answers are all over the place. So one more time, if your ego is the enemy, who in you is declaring the war? Who in you, and it's not your spirit, so we're gonna take your spirit out of it. Who in you said that the ego is the enemy? Who said that? Who's this entity in you that said that? See, when you say, I need to dissolve my ego, I need to dismantle my ego, who's this I that's doing the talking? It's not your spirit, because spirit hasn't even wakened up yet. That's why you're here. You're here for a spiritual awakening. That's why you're here. That's the whole purpose of life. It's a spiritual awakening. So when you say, I need to dissolve or I need to dismantle my ego, who's this I that's doing the talking? Could it possibly be the ego trying to eliminate the ego? I said, could it possibly be the ego trying to eliminate the ego. You got to understand your ego is vicious. That should disturb you. That should disturb you. Maybe the problem was never the ego itself. Maybe the problem is that you never defined what you were fighting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, truth is here now. Truth is here now. Maybe the problem was never the ego. Maybe the problem was the fact that you never defined what you were fighting. Is your ego your personality, your ambition, your insecurities, your trauma, or your level of education? What is it? Yeah, we all heard ego, but you stopped there. The average person stopped right there. What specifically is it? How do you win a war against something if you don't even know what you're fighting? That should scare you, alarm you, or wake you up. How do you win a war against something? That's like me telling you, I need you to fight somebody for me. You're like, okay, coach, who am I fighting? I don't know. Just take off walking down the street. You'll see him. You don't know what you're getting ready to fight. You don't know how prepared you need to be. Am I fighting the man? Am I fighting the woman? Am I fighting the dog? Am I fighting somebody? Do they have a knife? Who am I fighting here? That's how we walking around. We sitting here talking about you want to dismantle the ego. I need to get rid of my ego. I need to turn my ego down. Okay, that's wonderful, beloved. But what specifically is it? How do you win a war against something if you don't know what you're fighting? That's all I'm asking. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm asking you, how do you, that part right there, nephew, you fighting a ghost. You don't know what you're fighting. So how would you know when you won the battle if you don't even know when you fight what you're fighting? You see what I'm saying? How will you know okay, I won, coach. What against what? That part right there, beloved, we just swinging. We don't even know what we swinging at. So one more time, is your ego your personality? Is it your ambition? Is it your insecurities? Is it all of your past trauma? Is it your level of intelligence? What specifically is it? How can you win a war against something if you don't know what you're fighting, beloved? I'm just asking that. Or could your ego be the story that you keep defending? Look carefully at your daily life. When someone challenges your opinion and you feel that resistance, that need to respond, that need to correct them, that need to protect, what is that? I need you to answer that. Let me say that one more time. Look carefully at your daily life. When someone challenges you, when someone challenges your opinion, right? We've all had our opinions challenged, right? That need to respond, that need to correct, that need to protect, that anger that starts boiling up in you, that frustration that boils up in you. What specifically is that? See, you guys are saying your ego, but you're still not identifying what the ego is, beloved. So you don't know what it is. That's the problem. That may be a bigger problem than the ego itself. The fact that I don't even know what it is. I'm saying ego because that's programming and conditioning. All of that's programming and conditioning. When you saying the ego, that's all programming and conditioning. You just saying what somebody else told you, but you don't really know what it is. When you compare your progress to someone else's, what is that? What is that? When you compare your progress to someone else's, what is it? When you imagine a future version of yourself finally being validated, what is it? When you make it in life, who's the one that says you made it? Is your ego an actual thing? I need you to answer that. Is your ego an actual thing? If yes, what is it? If no, what is it? That part right there, beloved, that's all I want to do is make you think. That's all I want to do is make you think. You're going to know once we wrap, by the time the end of this live, you're going to know, but right now I just want to make you think. Kev, I see you. What's up, Kev, in case I didn't greet you? What's up, family? Ooh, Neptune, I like that. I like that, Neptune. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I like what Neptune just said. This is one of the most important questions anyone will ever ask you. Let me tell you why I'm talking to you about the ego. Because you'll never become the greatest version of yourself until you understand what that is. If you don't understand what that is, it's the thing that's stopping you, right, from becoming the greatest version of yourself. That's that thing. So it's important. This conversation is so important because we can't get to the other side of the bridge until you fully understand what's stopping you or what's blocking you from getting there right now. That's why this conversation is so important. Again, this is one of the most important questions anyone will ever ask you. If your ego is not your real enemy, what if your addiction to preserving a self-image is the real problem? What if the real enemy in your life is your addiction to preserving a self-image? There's not a single person on this platform right now as we speak that does not have some self-image. Every one of you, even if it's a low one, you still have one. So what if your ego is not the problem at all? What if the real enemy in your life is this version of yourself that you created, that you promote to the world? And what if the real problem is the fact that the version of you that you created is not the version of you that God created? The version of you that you created was the version of you so that you could fit into certain situations. The version of you so that you could receive love. The version of you so that you could receive acceptance. The version of you so that certain people would believe in you. The version of you so that certain people would choose you. That's not the version of you that God created. That's the version of you that the world told you to transform into. And what if your ego this entire time was only helping you to defend that version of yourself that you created? So let's break this down. Again, what if your ego is not the real enemy? What if you've been focusing on an enemy that's not the enemy at all? What if your addiction to preserving a self-image is the real problem? What if you've been blaming your ego for something this entire time that it was never responsible for? What's up, Jessica? Your ego is not a solid enemy. Your ego is movement of identification. This thing that you call the self is simply a bundle of memories. What you call the self is simply a bundle of memories, beloved. That's it. The observer is the observed. The me you are defending is simply the past projecting itself into the present moment, and you call that your identity. Let me say that one more time. The me that you are defending is simply the past projecting itself into the present and calling it identity. Craig, good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys see how that's happening? You guys see what's going on with that? Yeah, it's freezing, but we're gonna keep moving. So this me that you refer to, this self that you refer to is a collection of memories that gets projected onto the present moment. And when you project it onto the present moment, when you're talking about me and you're talking about the self and you're talking about this I, that's all that is. And what your ego has been doing this entire time is helping you to defend that. Period. So your ego is not the problem. Not even kind of the problem. Your ego is only helping you to defend who you promote yourself as. Your ego is only helping you to defend the character that you sell to the world. Your ego is only helping you to defend the mask. Your ego is only helping you to defend the version of you that shows up small, the version of you that walks on eggshells, the version of you that thinks that you're the baddest thing walking. Whatever it is, that self-image that you've created based upon everything that has happened to you leading up to this moment, that you project onto the moment. When you say that's me and they hurt me, they lied to me, they cheated on me, they took from me, they stole from me, they fill in the blank me, that's what you're talking about. A collection of memories that has happened to you leading up to this moment, and that's what you call me. So when you say I am unhappy, you're talking about the culmination of all of that, the character. Here's another problem. The fact that you believe the illusion that the observer stands apart from what is observed. And when you try to improve yourself, to spiritually upgrade yourself, to become egoless, it's only memory trying to rearrange memory. You didn't catch that. You're using the ego to try to get rid of the ego. That's like trying to stop a flood by adding more water to it, trying to put the fire out by adding more fire to it. You're using the ego to dismantle the ego. You don't need to get rid of anything. You need to see through things. I tell you guys this all the time. You know, people are always trying to fix things and change things that they don't understand. Things need to be understood. They don't need to be changed. They don't need to be fixed. Everything needs to be understood. When you understand it, everything changes. We're trying to change things before we gain understanding. Nothing is more important on the face of this earth than understanding. Everything that happens that's wrong in life happens because of a misunderstanding. If you look at all the problems that's going on in our world today, misunderstanding. I'm trying to change something before I even understand it. Make that make sense? I'm trying to change something before I even understand it. I'm trying to change myself, but I don't understand it. I'm trying to change the past, but I don't understand it. I'm trying to get rid of fear, but I don't understand it. I'm trying to get rid of my ego, but I don't understand it. I'm just trying to change stuff because somebody told me I needed to. I'm trying to change myself because someone told me I needed to. We just listening to people. The ego is nothing other than focus of conscious attention. The ego cannot grasp itself because it was never an object to begin with. It's activity, beloved. Your ego is simply a collection of ideas and opinions that you have about yourself that's always changing. Let me say that one more time. Your ego is nothing but a collection of ideas and opinions that you have about yourself that are always changing. And an idea repeated long enough becomes solid in your mind. If you believe anything deeply enough, it'll begin to feel real to you. Your ego is not the problem. Your belief that you've attached to your ego is the problem. And let me say that real quick. Let me speak on that real quick. Rhonda, what's up, beloved? Why is what moving? Why is what moving, beloved? I've seen you ask that question a couple of times. Why is what moving? I'm just trying to wait to see what her answer is. All right, I'm gonna pull off. I don't know. Somebody said something about something moving, and I'm trying to understand. I don't like to leave people stuck because I didn't. If I need you to fully wrap your mind around what's being said. Somebody said pastors are scams. Yeah, they might be. Depends on who you asking. But you have to understand that the only way you can see something in someone else is if it's in you first. So if you can see the scammer in them, it's also because you can see it in yourself. So you got to be careful when you say things. Be careful when you say things. The only way you can see something in someone else is if it exists in you first. If it doesn't exist in you, you'll never see it in them. So when you say somebody else is a scammer, it's only because it exists in you as well. At some point in time, you scam somebody. That's the only way you can see it in someone else. So you got to be real careful when you say it. You shadow boxing with a great white right now. Be careful when you say things, especially when you're talking to people that are self-aware. The only way you can see something in someone else is if it exists in you first. The cheater will see a cheater because it exists in them. The liar will think everyone else is lying because it exists in them. The manipulator will think all people manipulate because it exists in them. You cannot, that's the law of mirrors. You cannot see something in someone else unless it exists in you first. So if we were out in public and you told me that, oh, all pastors are scammers, I'd just walk away from you, because that means that the scammer also lives in you too. I don't scam people, so I don't look at people through that filter. And when you say all people or all pastors are scammers, that's an absolute. That's not the truth. That's your emotions talking. That's your lack of self-awareness talking. That's your lack of self-mastery talking. You should be careful when you open your mouth, beloved. You should be real careful when you speak. Careful. Careful. That word all is an absolute, and that's just not the truth. Ain't no truth in what you just said. So that reveals your lack of self-awareness. That reveals your lack of confidence, of consciousness. That reveals a lot of things about you. I've learned more about you than what you were trying to get me to understand about them. Come on, Craig. If you spot it, you got it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, family. Come on. Come on. I'm telling you. You can only see something in someone else because it exists in you first. And we don't understand that. So you should know this person is a this and this person is a that. This person is this, because that live in you. That's how you was able to identify it in them, because it exists in you first. Yeah, you ain't never met all the pastors in the world. That's like me saying all black people are bad, or all white people are bad, or all Native Americans are bad. I ain't never met all white people. I ain't met all black people. I ain't met all Native Americans. I might have met a handful of each group. You know what I mean? So when you start saying stuff like that, it just showcases your lack of emotional intelligence. You say more about yourself than you ever could about the people you trying to put down. You said, how do you let go of an ex when they still want to be friends? You want the truth? Big homie, what's up, family? Let me tell you something about men that you need to understand. Let me say this one time. Men don't suffer when the relationship ends. Women do. Men don't suffer until that man realizes that you have given your heart to someone else, that you are giving your love to someone else. Because in the mind of that man, he still believes that you belong to him. Even though you guys may not be talking, even though you may not be texting, even though you may not fill in the blank, he can be in a totally different relationship with someone else. But in his mind, I just say in yours, in his mind, you still belong to him. But the moment that that man finds out that you are in a real relationship with someone else, well, you don't want to have anything to do with him. You're not looking to talk to him, call him, text him, nothing. One more time. It's very important that you understand this. As long as you are entertaining the text messages, you keeping the window open. As long as you are answering the calls, you keeping the window open. As long as you need to understand that. So in the mind of that person, in the mind of that man, you still belong to him. But the moment that he finds out that you have truly given your heart, your mind, your spirit, every aspect of who you are to another man, he will grieve in ways that you cannot even imagine. So the relationship isn't over with him because you guys broke up. The relationship is over with him when he knows, the moment that he knows that you've given your heart. And this is why I tell you guys, you don't ever, ever, ever cheat. You don't ever cheat. Even if that person cheated on you, you don't ever do that. You don't answer bad with bad. You leave that relationship being the 5-star person that walked into the relationship. You don't become a reflection of whatever it is that they did. You don't ever do that. That's the biggest mistake you'll ever make. If it was the same energy that it took for you to cheat is the same energy that it would have taken for you to pack your stuff and leave. That's what you do. You don't cheat because somebody else cheat. You don't lie because somebody else lied. You don't become a reflection of the situation. No, you walk away. And then in that moment, when you walk away and that person knows that you are in a genuine relationship with someone else, that you didn't move how they moved and all these other things like that, that person will grieve in ways. And in that moment, beloved, let me tell you something. Let me teach you something. You helped them. You help them in ways that you cannot imagine, because that pain is going to break them, but that's also the pain that's going to heal them later. And they won't ever do that for someone else in the future because they'll never want to feel that again. That's why you do that. That pain that they're going to feel because they know you are a good woman. They know you are a good man. They know you are loyal. They know you are committed. They know you are all those things. So they know. But the person may have gotten desensitized to your presence. The person may have gotten desensitized to the value you bring to the moment. The person may have gotten desensitized because there was too much access to you. And that's some of the things that make a person cheat on you or lie on you or whatever the case may be. And then that person does that. But when you walk away, they know what you are. They know what you are. That's why that's so important. I'm telling you now. And so one more time, men do not grieve when the relationship ends. So again, men do not grieve when the relationship ends. Men grieve the moment that they learn that you are in a committed, solid relationship with someone else. So if you still entertaining text messages, you still accepting phone calls, you still doing things like that, then you haven't left the relationship. You sending all the wrong messages. Stop responding. Period. Yeah, you detach the same way you taught yourself how to hold on. You know, I tell you guys this all the time. You know, you teach yourself how to let go the same way you taught yourself how to hold on. You know, and then and here's the problem. You know, you never forget what made the relationship fall apart to begin with. You guys have to remember that. Like we seem to forget that. We seem to forget what made you want to walk away from the relationship to begin that. That's what you need to keep at the forefront of your mind. What made the relationship fall apart to begin with? If I need to detach, why do I need to detach? That's why I need to live. Why do I need to detach? Always live in that energy. Don't get in the, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I'll never do it again energy. Don't get in the, baby, will you give me one more chance energy? Don't get into I'll try harder. Don't get into I'll check all week energy. Get back in the energy of what made you want to walk away from that relationship to begin with. Get back in the energy of when they were disrespecting you. Get back in the energy of when they weren't loyal to you. Get back in the energy of when they lied to you. Get back in the energy of when they betrayed you. Stay there. Stop opening all them other doors and windows. Stay right there. That's where you live. This is actually a perfect segue. Where I'm getting ready to go next is actually a perfect segue. The truth doesn't hurt, beloved. Only your resistance to the truth. I don't even want you. I can't let you believe that lie. The truth does not hurt. Your resistance to the truth is what hurts. Truth and love are two of the most beautiful things in the world. That's the same thing when people say, oh, love is blind. No, that's the biggest lie ever told. Love is the most clear-sighted thing in the world. Your attachments keep you blind. Your clinging keeps you blind. You losing yourself in the relationship keeps you blind. Your emotions keep you blind. What you need that person to be for you, that keeps you blind, but not love. And it's the same thing applies to truth. People say that all the time. The truth hurts. No, the truth doesn't hurt. Your resistance to the truth is hurts. Your illusions bumping up against reality is what hurts. The fantasies that you've been living out of bumping up against reality is what hurts. The story that you created in your mind as far as what you needed that person to be with you, meeting reality is what hurts, but not the truth. I can't let you guys start believing stuff like that. See, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Matter of fact, let me just get into this live a minute. Spartan Dre, what's up, family? So good to see you. Yeah, the truth doesn't hurt. Ain't nothing about the truth that's hurt. Your resistance to the truth is hurt. You want to hang on to the story that you created in your mind, and then when it comes in contact with the truth, you got to set that story down. That's what's painful, but it didn't have anything to do with the truth. It had to do everything to do with the story that you created in your mind that was out of alignment with the truth. That's what hurts you. When you have stories in your mind that are out of alignment with the truth, it's the false story that you created. That's what hurts you, not the truth. Truth ain't never hurt you a day in your life. Your resistance to it does. Well, Sean, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Yeah, we just say stuff like that because it sounds good. You know, love is blind, and the truth hurts. You know, that's all bumper sticker talk. You know, if people say stuff like that, man, and they don't know what they're saying when they say it. It sounds good though. I'll give you that. It does sound good. When you welcome, beloved. You welcome, beloved. Again, do me a favor, real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Good to see you too, beloved. Good to see you too. Again, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Where we at? Where we at? I tell you guys this all the time. You know, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. You know, and the quality of your life is going to be predicated on that. One more time. What's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And the quality of your life will be predicated on which one you decide to lean on the most. I appreciate that, beloved. What's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. We spend so much time and energy focusing on what's wrong. That's the problem. That's the real problem. But what's right was available as well. See, we don't become the most powerful versions of ourselves because we settle for good when great was an option that was available to us as well. You want to know what the problem is? That's the real problem in life. You really want to know. The real problem in life is that we settle for good when great was an option that was available to us as well. We settle for who we almost could have become. May I appreciate that, beloved. Too many people in life, man, we settling for who we almost could have become, what we almost could have had, becoming the greatest version of our most limited selves. We settle for stuff like that. All right, boom, let's get busy getting busy. Because this is a perfect segue into where we're going. He got my ladder. You're welcome, beloved. This is the perfect segue into where we're going. How people treat you is information. Use it. It's all mindset.
mindset here. How people treat you is information. Use it. Stop labeling everything that people do to you and look at it as data from this moment moving forward, beloved. That's what's hurting you. You don't understand that? The labels hurt you more than anything else. The label hurts you more than the actual thing that you are labeling, because the label carries built-in emotion. That's the problem. No, everything is data. That cheating, that's data. What is the data trying to tell you? This person doesn't deserve to have access to you. This person looked you dead in the face and lied to you. That's data. What is the data trying to tell you? This person doesn't deserve to have access to you. This person over here, they betrayed you. That's data. What is the data telling you? The data is telling you that this person doesn't deserve to have access to you. So you don't need to put all these labels on it. Get out of the label business. The label business is hurting you because labels keep you blind. Everything in life is data. This person disrespected you. That's data. What is the data telling you? The data is telling you that you have no business allowing this person to have access to you for a second time. They already showed you who they were the first time. All of that's data. This person over here didn't show up for you. Wonderful. That's data. What is the data telling you? The data is telling you that this person doesn't deserve to have access to you. Period. Get out of all them labels. You got all these labels in your mind. No, everything is just data. The people at NASA go off the data. They don't go off of their feelings. They're not going off of their emotions. They're not going off of the labels. They're going off of the data. We're trying to get this rocket to the moon. We need the data so that we can know how to get there. And the moment that you start moving through life like that, man, you're going to see life through a whole different filter. If you disrespect me once, you're teaching me the power of self-respect. If you're not loyal to me, you're teaching me the power of self-love. If you disrespect me, you're teaching me the power of showing up for myself. That's all that is. That's all data. You teaching me more about me based upon the data. You're teaching me what I accept. You're teaching me what I shouldn't accept. You're teaching me what I may be normalizing. You're teaching me everything based upon my interaction with you. Everything is data. I don't see the world through all of these labels. That's programming and conditioning. That's what's keeping you stuck. You got all these labels going on. And the label keeps you blind to the truth. No, you go off the data. What is the data telling you? Right? You go off the data. What is the data teaching you? That's simple. You don't need to add no thinking to it. You don't need to add your emotions to it. You don't need to add your feelings to it. You don't need to add potential to it. You don't need to add, oh, one day they might be. Hell no. You're going to go back blind again. You go up. What is the data telling you? That data is either telling you that this person deserves to have a seat at the table with where you're going, or the data tells you that they don't deserve to have access to you. The data is telling you something. Everybody in your life right now is data. What is the data telling you? But if you're looking at them through the filter of mom, you're looking at them through the filter of that's my brother, you're looking at them through the filter of that's my husband, you're looking at them through the filter of that's my wife, you're going blind. You're going to be Stevie Wonder blind walking around. You don't see people through all these labels because the label keeps you blind, because most people don't live up to the label that you've attached to them. They don't live up to the label that you've assigned to them. They ain't living up to the label. You calling the person your husband, they don't act like one. You calling them your wife, but they don't act like one. You call them your best friend, but they talk about you like a dog behind your back. See, you seeing people through the label, that's what's keeping you blind. Bottom line. Now, I see everything through data. That's it. And here's the thing. Watch this right here. Boom. I'm walking through the world. I'm walking through the world as the unconditional love that God created me to be. I'm going to greet you with that. I'm going to meet you with that. We're going to sit down. We're going to have coffee, tea, lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever the case may be. I'm bringing unconditional love to the table. I don't give a damn what you bring. I'm bringing unconditional love to the table. When my unconditional love meets your disrespect, data, I'm going to quietly get up from that table. I'm going to push my chair in, and that'll be the last time you see me. I'm bringing unconditional love to the gym. I greeted you with unconditional love because I'm not going to transform myself into what you are because you in your bad mood, because you operating out of your pain, because you operating out of your wounds, because you operate from your triggers. I ain't doing none of that. I'm not going to become a reflection of what you are. I'm going to stay and continue to be a reflection of what God is. So I brought unconditional love to the situation. You greeted my unconditional love with your wounds. You greeted my unconditional love with your pain. You greeted my unconditional love with your disrespect. That's data, baby. I ain't got to place no label on you. That's data. I'm going to tell you to have a nice day, and that'll be the last time that you ever speak to me. Now, let me tell you why that's important. I just added so much value to your life when I did that. I added so much value to your life when I did that. Let me tell you how. We teach people how to treat us based upon what we accept, based upon what we tolerate, based upon what we normalize. We teach people. I give you a world-class education into who I am based upon what I tolerate in that moment. Now, every single person that you have ever encountered before you met me may have accepted that, may have tolerated that behavior, and that's okay. But you met me today. And when I walk away from you, I added more value to you than if I had become a reflection of the situation. Let me tell you how. I added value to you because I gave you time to reflect, beloved. When I removed myself from the situation, it caused you to reflect. It caused you to think about your behavior. It caused you to think about what did I say? Because again, that may be normal behavior for you. That may be normal behavior for you. But you met someone that operates with 5-star love and 5-star respect and 5-star appreciation and 5-star belief in themselves. And they bumped into your programming and conditioning. And I didn't become confrontational. I didn't slam my hand down on the table. I very quietly, very gently removed myself from the situation. I left you talking. I left you talking. Mid-conversation. I got up from that table, pushed my chair in, and I was out. While you were speaking, I was out. I added more value to the conversation in that moment than had I stayed there. So much value was added. Right? So much value was added to the conversation in that moment, beloved. That's what you got to understand. Because I gave you time to reflect, and here's what you got to understand. Tomorrow, I may give you another opportunity. Let me tell you why that's important. Because you had 24 hours to reflect. Listen, this is important. This part's important. They might start apologizing as soon as you get up. Do not turn around. They might say, I'm sorry, that'll never happen again. Do not turn around. And the reason why you don't turn around is because the moment has already been contaminated. The moment has already been ruined. Do not return to what has been contaminated. Do not return to what has been ruined. You do not do that. You don't do that. You get up, you leave. Now, if you want to come back tomorrow, I understand that. You want to come back a couple of days later, once that person has had time to reflect, I understand that. But if you return in that moment, they haven't had any time to reflect, beloved. They ain't had time to reflect. So they still the same person. And the next time that person comes back and sees you again, they're going to treat you with totally different energy. That's what's important.
that make sense? It's all you have to do. Do not return in that moment. There's been no reflection. You got to give time for reflection. You don't start arguing, you don't fight, you don't have to prove your worth, you don't try to prove your value, you don't have time for any of that. You know, you leave the situation, you give that person time to reflect. I'll come back the next day. I've done this before. Some of my best friends are my best friends because of what I'm telling you right now. And then in that moment, that person is going to look at you a different way. They're going to speak to you a different way. They're going to give you white glove service for the rest of that relationship. They're going to give you white glove service. Why? Because they know in that moment you'll get up like that. They instantly know you already taught the person. I'll get up like that. I ain't got no problem doing it. They already know you for that. You just set a new standard in their mind. I'm telling you, you collect the data. Look at people as data. That person can either help you get to where you're going or they're going to slow you down. But the data is going to tell you, don't go off your feelings, don't go off your emotions, don't go off your thoughts, don't go off your opinions, don't go off your assumptions, go off what the data is telling you. When you go to NASA, they're going off what the data is saying. They ain't going off their feelings. Oh, I hope it might be. Oh, they don't see the rocket through potential. They don't see the rocket based upon what it might be one day. They don't see the rocket one day it might be. No, they see the rocket based upon what the data is saying. That's it. That's all. They ain't seeing it through the past. They ain't seeing it based upon what the last rocket did. They're looking at it based upon the data. That's it. When you start looking at people from that perspective, it's going to change your whole life. I'm telling you. Whole life changed. Just on that mindset alone. That part right there. I'm telling you, the whole mindset changed. That's how you look at me. When you're looking at me based on what is the data telling you? Coach is going to add value to me. Coach is going to help me become stronger. Coach is going to help me become more confident. Coach is going to help me become more self-aware. Coach is going to help me become fill in the blank. And at any point in time, when I stop doing that, then you need to unplug yourself from the situation. It's no disrespect to me, but you're saying, Coach, you disrespect me now. You hurt my feelings now. You lie to us all the time. You did this. Okay, if that's what the data is telling you, then you remove yourself from the situation. It's not about arguing and fighting and all of these other things like that. It has nothing to do with that. The data is telling you where you need to go. The data is either telling you need to gain access to more of this person or you need to let go of this person. The data is only telling you one or the other. So this is not even something that's difficult, you guys. The data is either telling you this is somebody you need in your life, or the data is telling you that this is somebody you need to let go of. Some of you guys are in a situation right now where the data is telling you that you need to leave. The data has been telling you that it's time for you to move on. You still there trying to change the data. No, you don't change the data, you read the data. And then you apply that to your life, and then you make decisions based upon what the data is showing you. One more time, you don't make decisions upon the future. You don't make decisions based upon potential. You don't make decisions based upon one day they might be. You don't make decisions, I'll wait for the green flags. Right? You don't do any of that. Yeah, you trying to change the data. You changing the wrong thing. Right? Yeah. All right. Now, you just come on, CTP. You just said something, beloved. You just said something. The data is never gonna lie to you. That might be the bar of all bars. The data will never lie to you. The person will. The data will never lie to you. The person will. The data will never lie to you. The person will. And you don't start telling people that you look at, don't tell people, oh, I see people through the data now. Don't hit them to that, because now that person
is going to start pretending, and they're going to start acting different, and they're going to start moving different around you because they know you're reading them differently. Don't ever make the mistake of telling people that that's how you see the world. That's private information. That's private and personal information. The moment you go telling your significant other, I see everything through the data now, let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to move different now. They're going to start acting different. They're going to start pretending more. They're going to start moving more. And now the data you're going to misread the data. So you don't say anything. This is private information. Nobody else needs to know that. Don't even tell your best friends. They're going to start acting different. People start acting different the moment that they know you become different. When you become different, they'll start acting different. No, don't do that. That's the biggest mistake you'll ever make. Don't tell nobody. I'm telling you, don't tell anybody, beloved. Don't, please, whatever you do, don't do that. That part right there, Cash, you just become the observer. And you go off, again, you go off the data, you don't go off your feelings. You go off the data, you don't go off potential. You go off the data, you don't go off one day they might be. You go off the data, you don't go off the I'm waiting for them to come around. No, what is the data telling you right now in real time in this moment? What is it telling you in this moment? Because see, you can't build your life using yesterday's weather report. When you think about a pilot, when a pilot prints out that weather report, he needs today's weather report. He does not want yesterday's weather report because yesterday's weather report, it won't tell him about where it is that he needs to go and what he's getting ready to encounter based upon where he's going. He needs today's weather report only. Some of us are walking through life using yesterday's weather report. Now you need today's weather report. I don't give a damn about what yesterday's weather report said. Yesterday's weather report might have said clear sky, but today's weather report might have shown me that I'm getting ready to go into this hurricane or something. You need real-time, up-to-date, accurate information with respect to the people that's showing up in your life. I don't want yesterday's weather report. I don't want tomorrow's weather report. What does today's weather report say? That part right there, T-Vance, that part right there, family. You said something. That part right there, Tara, that part right there, beloved. Yeah, I need today's weather report. I don't even want to know what yesterday's weather report was. That part right there, Amy. That part right there, Amy. That's a bar right there, beloved. That's a bar right there. That's a bar right there. So one more time, how people treat you is information, beloved. Use it. Stop labeling everything that people do to you and look at everything as data from this moment moving forward. Please, whatever you do, stop labeling everything, beloved. Please. When it comes to other people, stop labeling everything. Stop calling it cheating. Stop calling it disrespect. Stop calling it verbal abuse. Just look at everything as data. That's how I look at everything. It's all data because the data is telling you how much value the person really places on you. See, that's why you need it. Because the data is telling you how much value they really place on you. The disrespect don't tell you that. The cheating don't tell you that. The verbal abuse doesn't tell you that. That doesn't tell you anything. Only thing that's going to do is make you emotional. But when you're looking at it from a data perspective, you're saying, okay, well, this person don't place value on me. That's what the data is saying. It's not what I'm saying. That's what the data is saying. And I'm detached from the data. Once I understand the data report, I'm detached from the data. So I don't need to attach emotion to it. I don't need to attach feeling to it. I don't need to attach thought to it. I just need to look at it for what it is. And then I need to start making decisions based upon what the data is telling me, not what my heart is saying, not what my attachments are saying. That part right there, beloved, the energy they are giving us is data, 1 billion%. The energy is data. Everything is data. Kay, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. See, the universe sends you exactly what you need to transcend all of your limiting beliefs, but your ego keeps resisting. This part is important when we get ready to go here. One more time. The universe sends you exactly what you need to transcend all of your limiting beliefs, But your ego keeps resisting. When someone triggers you, that's not life working against you. It's a mirror of a version of yourself that you still need to heal. When someone triggers you, that's a mirror of a version of yourself that you still need to heal. And in that moment, reality is showing you the pain that you haven't dissolved. The universe brings it up so that you can release it. And until you do, it will keep circling back in different forms, wearing different faces. People will always enter your life wearing the face of some version of yourself that you haven't healed as of yet. Everything that you tolerated, everything that you normalized, everything that you accepted will show up wearing the face of someone else. That's the most important thing for you to understand. That's the most important. I don't think you're hearing me. I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying to you. Think about listen to what I'm saying to you right now. Listen to what I'm saying to you right now. You come from the strongest thing in the universe. I said you come from the strongest, most powerful force in the universe. Nothing in the universe is more powerful than your father. That's what you come from. And when you move through life that way, so when you are in some toxic relationship, damn what they did. I'm worried about what you accepted. I'm worried about what you tolerated. I'm worried about what you normalized. Because if you were being a reflection of what your father is, that would never happen. It would never take place. There would be no disrespect if you are carrying the reflection of your father. There would be no verbal abuse if you are carrying the reflection of your father. There would be no walking on eggshells if you are carrying the reflection of your father. All of those things appear and happen to us when we're not carrying his reflection, not when we are. Period. You mean you are the byproduct of the strongest thing in the universe. What do you mean? Walking on eggshells. What do you mean? Turning down the volume on your voice. What do you mean? Disrespect happening. What do you mean? Verbal abuse happening. What do you mean? You showing up small in your own life. What do you mean? Handing somebody else the keys to your happiness. What do you mean? That's how God is looking at the situation. What do you mean? That's not what I created. What are we talking about here? What do you mean? You looking for love outside yourself and he looking at you like you don't understand what you come from? You looking for happiness outside of yourself. Do you not know what you come from? You looking for other people to believe in you, but you are belief personified. You looking for someone else to validate you. What are you talking about? Do you not know who your father is? All of these things happen to us. We all out in the future got all this anxiety going on. That part right there, D, ain't no way. Man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's what I'm saying. So when I'm saying, we talk about, one more time. We sitting here talking about toxic people and narcissists, all these labels, one more time. Everything is data, all these labels. But the red flags live in us. Red flags don't have nothing to do with the other person. The red flag is the disrespect we tolerate. The red flag is what we normalize. The red flag is when we allow people to abuse us. The red flag is when we talk to people allow people to speak to us like we got two heads. The red flag happened when you showed up small. The red flag happened when you weren't loving yourself. The red flag came from when you weren't believing in yourself. The red flag came from when you doubt yourself. Let me say something to you. Love and hate require the same amount of energy. Faith and fear require the same amount of energy. Doubt and belief require the same amount of energy. They all require the same. So what do you mean you got doubt in you? What do you mean you got fear in you? What do you mean you got all this anger in you? What do you mean we got all of these things require the same energy? They require the same amount of energy. The same energy that it takes me to hate you is the same energy it took for me to love you. The same energy that it takes for me to doubt myself is the same energy that it takes for me to believe in myself. The same energy that it takes for me to be afraid is the same energy that it takes for me to have all the faith in myself. All the same energy. Maria, what's up, beloved? Pepper Seed, I see you. Same energy, beloved. Same energy. Same energy. Same energy. See, uh-oh. Make them the truth. Truth and pull it up in a Lambo. Damn. Truth and pull it up in a Lambo. Craig, same energy. Same energy. Ro, I see. Let me say it this way. Let me tell you something that maybe nobody's ever told you. You are source energy. And as the source energy that you are, you filter that energy through everything that's happening in your life. You are source energy. There is only one energy. There's not two, there's not three, there is one. The same energy that you are is the same energy that your father is. But here's what you need to understand. As the source energy that you are, you filter that energy through your beliefs. You filter that energy through your definitions. You filter that energy through your assumptions. You filter that energy through your opinions. You filter that energy through your persona and your reputation. You filter that energy through everything. And here's what's beautiful about life. When you filter that energy through a particular belief, if you experience a negative feeling or emotion because of that, because of you filtering that energy through that belief, that's an indicator, beloved, that you're believing something that's out of alignment with the truth. If you filter that energy through some belief about something with respect to something that is in alignment with who you really are, and you experience happiness or joy or peace or love, that's an indicator that the belief that you're experiencing, the belief that you're believing in that moment is in alignment with truth. Anytime that you are believing in something, anytime that you are believing in something that's out of alignment with the truth, that's the reason why the negative emotions are coming. They're coming to let you know that what you are believing is out of alignment with your highest and best self. It's out of alignment with reality. It's out of alignment with truth. Let me qualify it. Let me qualify it. Let's say that you're wearing white socks right now. You got a pair of white socks on, snow white. You're walking down the street. Now, you believe you have white socks on because you have white socks on. You walking down the street. A man walks up to you and he says to you, those are the ugliest orange socks I have ever seen in my life. You just gonna look at the man and you're gonna stare blankly. You're not gonna become upset. You're not gonna become frustrated. Your feelings won't be hurt. Why? Because you know that your socks are white. So there's no belief there, right? You only react to what you believe. Whatever you believe is what you react to. So in that moment, because you know your socks are white, you're not offended. You're just looking at the man like, oh, okay. And you're going to go on about your business. You're not going to think about it later on. You're not going to become upset. You're not going to be depressed. None of that's going to happen. Why? Because you know, because that belief that your socks are white is in alignment with the truth, right? That's what's important for you to understand. So when you are believing things and you're getting this negative emotion and this negative feeling and this negative feeling over here, it's only because whatever it is you're filtering the energy that you're through, it's coming back with a negative reaction. It's coming back. The data is negative here. And the reason why the data is negative here, because that thing is out of alignment with who you are. It's out of alignment with your highest and best self. Something there isn't right. Something there isn't accurate. Somebody is lying. Something's wrong over here. That's what the negative emotions are coming to tell you. Whatever it is you get ready to believe in that moment, something is wrong here. Like your relationship. You believe in your relationship. I'm going to give you, here's a good one. You believe in your relationship, but you got anxiety there. You got some insecurities there. You're not as confident there. Now, you don't know what's going on when your partner leaves. But you are filtering your energy through that relationship. And certain emotions are coming because you are filtering that energy through that relationship and you believe in that relationship. But the feelings that you are getting are out of alignment with your highest and best self. The feeling that's coming back isn't love. The feeling that's coming back isn't happiness. The feeling that's coming back isn't joy. The feeling that's coming back isn't peace. Well, what's coming back? Insecurity is coming back. Fear is coming back. Unhappiness is coming back. Why? Because you are filtering the source energy that you are through a belief system that's out of alignment with the truth. There's no truth in the relationship. If there's truth in the relationship and you're filtering the source energy that you are through that relationship and through the belief of that relationship, everything that would be coming back from that would be positive. That's how you know. That's how you know. God put a whole system in you to let you know that anytime that you are believing in something that's out of alignment with your highest and best self, anytime that you're believing in something that's out of alignment with the truth, anytime that's believing in something that you're believing in something that can potentially derail you, he put an entire system in you so that you would know that. Now, you're going to have some things that you believe in, and what's going to give you joy? It's going to give you peace. It's going to give you happiness. It's going to give you excitement. It's going to give you all those things. Why? Because what you're believing in that moment is in alignment with your highest and best self. It's in alignment with the truth. But the moment that you're believing in something that's not true, that's not accurate, there's some falsehoods there, there's some manipulation there, there's some things like that going on, you're filtering your energy through that belief, you're only going to get negative back. So how are you going to get back? What is the data telling you about your relationship? What is it telling you? Don't try to fix the person. The person is not the problem. We don't need to go to couples therapy. What is the data telling you? That's what I'm saying.
See, I tell you guys this all the time. When we ask certain questions, the answer is already in the question, right? People's behavior, one more time, what is the data telling you? What is the data telling you? Right? With respect to that young lady's question, if you've been listening to me, what is the data telling you? It's giving you a world-class education right now. See, this is why we say the truth hurts. No, the truth doesn't hurt. Our resistance to the truth hurts because the data is telling you one thing, but because you got a story in your mind about how you want things to go, the person may have walked out 5 minutes before you were ready for them to walk out. So yeah, the data is available, but I don't want to accept the data. I don't want to listen to the data. I'm going off the story in my mind because I still want this person in my life. So the data is there, but I don't want to apply the data, coach. I don't want to look at the data. The answer is always in the question. It's always in the question, beloved. The moment you got to ask yourself certain questions, the answer is already there. It's not an answer that you want. That's why we don't accept it. That's why we reject the answer, because the answer isn't what we want. You already have clarity. When they walked out, they gave you clarity. When that person disrespected you, they gave you clarity. When that person cheated on you, they gave you clarity. They told you exactly how they felt about you based upon how they treated you. And oftentimes when people walk away from us, it's because we had already walked away from ourselves. We had already abandoned ourselves. That part right there, CEO, that part right there, beloved. Yeah, Spartan Dre, it goes in and out. I got to take my computer in right after we get finished. So I'm going to get through this live the best way. We're gonna piece it together. Yeah, we're going to piece it together. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. Yeah, Spartan Dre, I got you, family. We'll be back on board tomorrow. We'll be back on board tomorrow. Fully on board tomorrow. Let me say this to you. You stop being badass. You want to know what happened? To the young lady that said what she said, you want to know what happened? You stopped being badass. That's what happened. You stopped being badass. That's what happened. That's what happened, beloved. You stopped. Let me tell you what I mean. When a person encounters you, they see you, whether it's at a Starbucks, it's at the mall, at a party, right? Some gathering, wherever that person sees you, doesn't matter where they see you, wherever they see you. The reason why that person wanted to connect with you is because you represented high value. In the mind of that person, doesn't matter what was going on in the rest of the world, in the mind of that person, you represented high value to such a degree that that person wanted to come over and talk to you. They wanted to get your name. They wanted to get your number. They wanted to be a part of your life, period. That's why they talk to you. All the millions of people that they've seen on the streets and millions of people that they've seen all over the world, that person wanted to know your name because you represented high value in the mind of that person. There was some experience that they wanted to have with you, something that they wanted to do with you. There was some exchange that they wanted to have with you. So boom, the person came over and talked to you. And they placed 5-star value on you. There was no disrespect in that moment, with no verbal abuse in that moment, with no walking on eggshell, with no you showing up small. Let me tell you why. Because you had your own life going on at the time. They had their life, you had yours. You had your little apartment, they had theirs. You might have had your house, they had theirs. The point not to be missed is the reason why that person was calling you all the time, and the reason why that person couldn't
stand being away from you. And the reason why y'all would be up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is because that person placed high value on you. That's the number one reason why. And let me tell you what happened. Y'all started hanging out. And you hung out with this person all the time. And the more that you would hang out with this person, the more your value started to slowly decrease. And the reason why your value started to slowly decrease, because the person had all of this access to you. They're learning about your flaws and learning about your imperfections and learning about your weaknesses and learning about all these things. And then they started to see you through different filters that they didn't have access to in the beginning. Because you gave this person so much access to you. You stopped hanging out with your friends as much as you used to. You stopped hanging out with your friends as much as you used to. You stopped going out and doing the things as much as you used to. You stopped all your little hobbies that you were doing as much as you used to. You stopped doing all of the things that you were doing before you ever met this person. You started to slow down and you made your world about them. And your world started to spin, turn, and revolve around the relationship. You were so happy to have somebody in your life. So happy to have somebody to spend your time with. So happy to have someone that would be a distraction from your pain. So happy to have someone that would be a distraction from your wounds and everything that you want working on within yourself. And then you started to make your world spin, turn, and revolve around that person. Your pain would show up sometimes. Your wounds would show up sometimes. Your insecurities would show up sometimes. Your flaws and imperfections would show up sometimes. And then that person started to see you through a filter that they didn't have access to in the beginning. You stopped being badass. What made that person want to get with you in the beginning was not the same thing that you were in the end. Look at your life right now. Give yourself 5 minutes of raw truth. Give yourself 5 minutes of pure, unfiltered truth. Who you were when that relationship fell apart is not the same person you were when you got with that person. Don't lie in front of God. Don't lie in front of me. Don't lie in front of this chat. You know I'm telling you the truth. Who you were in the end was a shell of yourself compared to who you were when you first walked in the front door of that relationship. You know that, and I know that. Two completely different versions of you. I can make the argument that if we were to take the version of you that you were in the beginning and set that person down with the version of yourself that you were when that person walked out of your life, they would be you wouldn't even recognize yourself. You wouldn't even recognize yourself. Now you know I'm giving you raw truth right now. Now you can run from the truth, but that's where your pain is gonna come. Not because I'm telling you the truth, because you're resisting the truth. I'm giving you raw, pure truth right now. Who you were in the end when that relationship fell apart, and who you were 5 minutes before that person ever knew your name is night and day. It's like the moon and the sun. It's the comparison between an ocean and a lake. They're totally different things. That's why your relationship fell apart, because you stopped being what made you badass. See, what you don't understand is this. The person fell in love with the version of yourself that you were in the beginning. They fell out of love with who you became. I can really end the live on that right there. I said the person fell in love with who you were in the beginning. They fell out of love with who you became. Period. Self-awareness. You need to join my community. You need to join my community today. You need to join my community today. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that they told you was okay to walk on eggshells. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that told you disrespect was okay. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that ignored the red flags. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that hung on past the expiration date. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that told you to show up small. You need to get rid of the version of yourself that didn't speak your truth. I need to know who was loving you in the moments when you weren't. Can I meet that person, please? Can I meet the person? Can I meet the version of you that who? I'm talking about who's guarding the gate. See, what we don't understand is that you are the guardian at the gate of your life. You are the guardian at the gate of your life, beloved. Man, you got to guard that gate. How did disrespect get past the gate? How did verbal abuse get past the gate? How did you show up small in your own life get past the gate? Because whatever gets past that gate becomes a part of your new normal. Wish I would let disrespect get past my gate. Wish I would let verbal abuse get past the gate. Wish I would let showing up small get past the gate. Wish I would let walking on eggshell get past the gate, because whatever gets past the gate is on me. I'm the guardian at the gate. Whatever gets past that gate is on me. I can't blame the other person for what they showed up to the gate with. You should have rejected that at the gate. What are we talking about here? That's what God is saying. I made you the guardian of the gate. Whatever gets past that gate is on you. Because whatever gets because whatever gets past that gate is what you accept. Whatever gets past that gate is what you tolerate. Whatever gets past that gate is what you normalize. That's the problem. I'm not worried about what the person showed up to the gate with. I'm worried about what you allowed. I'm worried about who opened the gate to begin with. That's the person I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to the person that showed up to the gate. I want to talk to the person that opened the gate. Because if we don't get rid of that version of you, we in trouble. You're going to keep meeting the same people wearing a different face, different body, same energy. That's the first thing God got. Who opened the gate? Oh, well, God, you know they can't. No, who opened the gate? Oh, God, well, they were toxic. Who opened the gate? Oh, God, well, they were narcissists. Who opened the gate? I don't give a damn about what they were carrying. I said, who opened the gate? Ain't no different than your front door. Somebody knock on your front door. What do you ask? Who is it? Period. How can I help you? What value are you bringing to my life? But if you let that person in your front door, that's on you. You open the door. Got time to be blaming other people? You open the door. And at any point in time, you could have closed the door. Let me tell you why you wouldn't close the door. You wouldn't close the door because you had already closed the door on yourself. Truth is knocking at the door. I said the truth just pulled up in a Lambo right now. See, we close the door on ourselves first. And then the person who just comes in wearing the face of the door that we closed on ourselves. That's how it really works. We close the door on us. So you shut love's door, and then here comes this person. You shut respect's door, and then here comes this person. You shut belief's door, and then here comes this person. You shut I'm not enough's door, and then here comes the person. The person only comes in wearing the face of the door that you closed on yourself. Yeah, see, and what we don't, but that's okay that you ignore them, beloved, because that's why you're here. But what we don't understand is that the red flags, every red flag that you ignore in the beginning, will be the very reason why your relationship ends. Just understand that. So when you ignore the red flags, when you ignore the fact that they don't open the door, when you ignore the verbal abuse, when you ignore all of those things, that's fine. I'm not asking you to change your life. What I'm asking you to understand is this: you're looking at a preview of your ending. You're looking at a preview of your ending. You're looking at a preview of your ending. I need to say that a billion more times because people don't get that part. God is showing you your ending in the beginning. So the moment you start ignoring things, the moment you ignore the red flags, the moment that you let that person get off on you once, the moment that you, all of that, You're looking at every red flag that you ignore will be the very reason why the relationship ends. Just write it down. Just write it down. Just go write it down. I'm not asking you to change your life, and I'm not asking you to change the person. Just go write it down. And let me tell you what you're gonna find. A year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, whenever the relationship falls apart, you're gonna be looking at the ending right there on paper. It's gonna be an identical match. Every red flag that you ignore in the beginning will be the number one reason why your relationship ends. When I'm not worried about the red flags, I'm worried about the version of yourself that told you to look away. That's who I need to talk to. I ain't worried about the person at all. The person is not the problem. The person only came in wearing the face of your pain. And we don't even need to talk about the person. Taisha, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Young lioness in the making right there. Yeah, I'm not worried about Taisha. We got to let them know, beloved. Yeah, we ain't worried about the red flags. I'm worried about the red flag in you. The person only came in wearing the face of a version of yourself that hadn't healed yet. That's all they came in doing. So I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about you. I'm telling you, everybody that enters your life comes in wearing the face of some unhealed version of yourself until there are no more versions of you to heal. Your mirror holds your reflection of your external reality. People come in wearing the face of your internal reality. Master both. Honey man, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. 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 That part right there, cat lover, you said something. That was a bar. Raise your standards today. If they're telling you that you have red flags, it's only because red flags exist in them. They can't see a red flag in you unless it exists in them also. That's the law of mirrors. People can only see something in you that exists in them. So if that person is telling you that I see red flags in you, it's only because red flags also exist in them. That's what you got to understand. That's why I want you guys to become masters. When you become masters, I'm telling you, your whole life gonna change, man. Your whole life gonna change. Yeah, Miss Tia, you gotta let them know, beloved. It's the law of mirrors. If anybody that's telling you they see something in you, they can only see it in you because it exists in them too. If I see it in you, it's because it also lives in me. That's why I'm able to see it in you. But if it doesn't live in me, I won't see it in you. The same way you don't know what it's like to be a rocket scientist. Why? Because the rocket scientist doesn't live in you. So you won't recognize it in another rocket scientist. But if I'm a rocket scientist and I'm talking to you, I'll automatically know you're a rocket scientist because the rocket scientist lives in me. But if I don't have a rocket scientist in me, I'll be sitting across from a rocket scientist and I'll have no idea that that's what he is. Why? Because I won't recognize it in him because it doesn't exist in me. The only thing that's real, beloved, is what you believe. I can tell you anything in the world about this watch. It won't matter. The only thing that matters is what you believe. So pick a belief and then stand on top of it. Yeah, Miss Tia, he is. He is. He is. He is, beloved. He is. He is. I got you, nephew. I got you. Yeah, he is. That's awesome, Wendy. That's awesome, Wendy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, Wendy. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. I love some. And Sammy, what's up, Sammy? So good to see you. Again, do me a favor, you guys, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. We're getting ready to get into this live. We're going to get busy. The screen has been freezing up. We love it. The screen has been freezing up. We love it. We love it. Watch this. Boom. What type of weather are we having today, coach? The type of weather that I like. How do you know it's going to be the type of weather you like? Having learned that I cannot control the outside reality, I've learned to master my internal reality. It's going to be the type of weather that I like. What type of food are you eating today, coach? The type of food I like. Well, how do you know that? Having learned that I cannot control the outside reality, I've learned to master my internal reality. What type of live are you guys going to have today, coach? It's going to be off the chain. How do you know that? Having learned that I cannot control the outside reality, I've learned to master my internal. So when you guys understand that and you're looking at the life, yeah, it's been freezing up. Wonderful. God has given me an opportunity to test my patience. Is the medicine getting out? Yeah. Then what you complaining about? Period. Is the medicine getting out? Yeah. Then what are you complaining about? That's what he would say to me. What you frustrated for? Can people hear you? Yeah, they can hear me. Then what are you complaining about? See, anytime that you start showing up in life and you got a fixed mindset meaning that I need certain things to go a certain way so that I can call it a success. I need certain things to go a certain way so that I can be happy. I need certain things to go a certain way so that I can feel this or that. You're gonna suffer your whole life. Now, 99.9% of my live streams go off without a hitch, but God threw me a curveball today. Let me see what you do when things don't go the way you need them to. Let me see if you still show up the same. Let me see if you still got that same energy. Let me see if you still got that same passion when things aren't going the way you need them to. Who do you become then? And that's a great metaphor for life. Who do you become when things aren't going the way you need them to? Who do you become when people stop loving you? Who do you become when that person walks out of your life? Who do you become when no one is clapping for you? Who do you become when you ain't got no money in your account? That's what he's paying attention to, not who you become when everything is going the way you need it to. And that's a perfect segue right there. Perfect segue. Perfect segue. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. It's important. This is a parable, but I promise you it applies to your life. Biggest lion in the jungle was out for a walk one day. And this donkey ran up on the lion, all aggressive. And the donkey told the lion, "Fight me." And the lion just looked at the donkey. He said, "I don't want to fight you." The donkey was confused. He walked away. A couple minutes later, the fox ran up on the lion. The fox was laughing hysterically. He said, "You mean to tell me that you're the biggest lion in the jungle and you're afraid to fight a donkey?" The lion just looked at him. He said, "Yep, I am." The fox was confused. He walked away. A couple of minutes later, this elephant walked up. He said, "Lion, I don't understand. I don't mean any disrespect, but I don't understand. What do you mean you're afraid to fight the donkey?" The lion said, "Listen, if you ever want to be the king or queen of your life, you got to know what deserves your time. You got to know what deserves your energy. And most importantly, you got to know what deserves your attention. If I were to fight that donkey, it would bring no honor to my name. That's why I didn't fight the donkey." The elephant scratched his head. He said, "Well, that makes sense." He said, "But what about the fox? You told the fox that you were afraid." The lion said one more time, "You need to know what deserves your time. You need to know what deserves your energy. It would take me more energy explaining to the fox than it would to let the fox believe whatever it is it wants to believe. Because from a distance, if someone is watching, they're going to see me explaining myself to a fox. I don't explain myself to the foxes of the world. The elephant scratched his head again. He said, you know what? I never looked at it that way. That makes sense. Freeze that thought. The same thing applies to you. If you want to be the king or the queen of your life, you have to master what deserves your time, master what deserves your energy, and master what deserves your attention, or you will never be the king. You will never be the queen. Understand that. Elaine, I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes, Spartan Drake, keep that one with you. Put that feather in your cap, family. Put that feather, add that story to your arsenal. I know you got a bunch of them. Add that one to your arsenal. Because again, it's a great parable for life. And the lion fighting the donkey would have brought no honor to the lion's name. There ain't a creature on the planet that wouldn't have been able to predict the outcome of that situation. He would have wasted his energy for nothing. Him explaining himself to the fox, from somebody looking, other animals looking down the way, they're looking like, why is this lion explaining himself to the fox? It wouldn't have brought any honor to his name. You got to know when to pick and choose your battles. You have to know what deserves your time. You got to know what deserves your energy. You got to know what deserves your attention. You ain't gonna never be the king. You ain't gonna never be the queen. You sitting here explaining yourself to the foxes of the world. You sitting here getting into these fights with the donkeys of the world. Of course, the donkey wants your energy. Of course, look at what you are. But you fighting with the donkey, you start looking like one. You explaining yourself to the foxes, you start to look like one. That's the whole point. You start to look like what you react to in life. Yeah, all that's beneath you, man. All right. So I am going to